But Mark, let's move on into the next topic. And what we're looking at is your team, da Bears. And we're looking at the Bears for one distinct reason. Now, I know 2 weeks ago we had Patrick on. Hello, Patrick. How's it going? And we were talking about possible replacements for the Bears coaching job because we knew writing was on the wall. John Fox was getting fired. There was no way they were keeping him. And I'll be honest, one guy I remember looking at, but the conversation never got there, was I pulled up like when Patrick brought up, I think his name was Frank Reich.
Yep.
From
Offensive
Philadelphia.
Philly.
My first thought was, oh, what about the quarterback coach, John Defilippo? Because I saw in an article that they could go after him. Well, they did. And interviewing John Defilippo, I want to ask you this. Now, he's going to interview, or they are seeking, Bears and Cardinals are seeking interviews with him. Is John Defilippo the right coach for the Bears? I'll just come out and say it. Is he the right coach?
I don't know. I like the idea. It's a big risk.
You know what you just reminded me of?
Huh.
That girl that's just like, I like the idea of you, but I don't know if I like you.
And that's a little bit of how I feel about Defilippo, is the fact that he's a really smart guy. He knows quarterbacks. He can get some good work out of quarterbacks. He has only, for 1 year in his entire coaching career, done anything besides coach quarterbacks. And that was in college for San Jose State. That's the only time he's ever done it. He got fired in Cleveland after 1 year.
That was Cleveland.
It's Cleveland. Yeah, it's Cleveland. You can't really hold that against too many people. He was under Dennis Allen and Tony Sparano in Oakland. He did get to be there for the rookie year of Derek Carr, so he got to enjoy that, so that's nice. He was there for the clusterfuck of, Kaiser, Hogan, all those guys in 2015 for Cleveland. And now Philly, he's here for Carson Wentz. And part of me sits there and I think, how much credit are we really going to give the quarterback's coach for Carson Wentz? He 100% deserves some good credit for that, because Carson Wentz went out there and was absolutely incredible. And if you ask a Philadelphia fan, a fan of the Eagles, they really like this guy. And the rumors are that they believe Reich is out and he's going to be getting a head coaching job somewhere, and that we're just going to promote up. We're just going to move him up to an offensive coordinator spot. And that's where Chicago comes in. And they're not the only ones who are going to interview him unless they can get him to not leave the door, not leave the office, essentially. They're going to interview some other people as well. He'll get interviews other places. But the idea is, we feel like you will be next year's hot head coaching candidate, so we're just going to get you now. It's actually what I kind of suggested about, the Rams offensive coordinator, of saying he will probably be a hot candidate in a year or two, so why not interview him now and try and jump on it?
The thing I'm looking back, and I'm looking at quarterbacks that he's worked with, and you mentioned Derek Carr. He was there for Derek Carr's rookie year,
which was a very good year for him.
The other quarterbacks he worked with was 2013, the clusterfuck of Pryor, McGloin, and Flynn. Then in 2012, mainly Carson Palmer. But the thing I look at is, you can look at Carr as this too, but we all know the reason why he left that Oakland job was because
who doesn't want to go to Cleveland?
Well, who doesn't want to be an offensive coordinator? That's the thing. I don't think it was one of those things where Oakland said, get the hell out of here, you're doing horrible.
Yeah.
So he's worked with a rookie quarterback once there. Also, when you go back to his only year with the New York Jets in 2009, do you know whose rookie season that was? 9-7. 9-7 performance.
Oh, that's Mark Sanchez.
Mark Sanchez.
I forgot about Mark Sanchez.
This was the same team that went to the AFC Championship game at 9-7 in Sanchez's rookie season.
You brought it up, and you're right, and I'll correct myself. He had 2 years as an offensive coordinator. I said 1. I skipped over Cleveland because they're not a real team. But no, to give him the fact that he was an offensive coordinator in Cleveland. The thing that scares me a little bit, and I totally agree with the mentality here. I'm glad we're going to interview Vic Fangio. I'm glad that the Chicago Bears are going to give some defensive coordinators a shot.
They're
because
also looking at Josh McDaniels too, obviously.
But the whole theory is we have a young quarterback. We need him to be successful. Let's interview guys that are going to make him successful. They're going for quarterback gurus.
No, and that's it. And the thing I look at is look at the playoff teams right now. And I look at them, and I mean, some of them are kind of like when I look at Bill Belichick, it's like, well, Bill Belichick's just a god when it comes to coaching. But like you see more and more coaches nowadays going towards like Sean McVay, offensive minded. Sean Payton, who's a playoff guy, defensive minded. You go towards, I mean, there are some that work where it's like Dan Quinn, okay, defensive guy. You have, but I mean, look at the Falcons for one. You take Kyle Shanahan away from Matt Ryan. Look at how much he's regressed from last season to this season. Yeah, Ron Rivera works in Carolina, but that is also the kind of like what Ron
That's what
Rivera
Carolina
brings
is. They're a defensive team.
Yeah, like Mike Zimmer. He's a defensive-minded coach with my Vikings. But you see more and more teams. Niners last year with Shanahan. The Redskins when they hired Gruden. With you've got the Sean McVay with the Rams. More and more teams are going offensive coaches because that's where we are in this league. Well, it's an offensive league.
Yeah, to go back what I was going for before with the quarterback thing is the last time the Chicago Bears went for an offensive-minded guy who's good with quarterbacks with Mark Trestman, my big fear with Mark Trestman was he was never anywhere for more than 2 years. That was my big concern. And it's in my face again with John Defilippo. And a guy who's not going to be anywhere for more than 2 years.
And I said John Gruden, I meant Jay Gruden.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
We were just talking about John.
Yeah.
So and I don't want to completely hold that against him only because he's a guy who is doing, trying to do bigger and better things necessarily. I mean, he went from colleges to NFL teams, bounced around a little bit, went back to college, then went back up to the NFL, trying to kind of find his footing a little bit. He's not an old guy. He's 39 years old. He's a young guy.
Not as young as McVay, but
pretty close to it.
Yeah.
So I don't want to completely hold against his early jumping around, but at the same time, part of my fear is if you can't be anywhere for one point for a long period of time, there's probably a reason why you bounced around so much.
Well, it goes into any job. Like that's the thing with like if you're like here for 1 year, then you go here for another year, and you're here for 2 years, but then you keep moving.
There's a reason.
Me and as an employer, I'm gonna make it towards like, well, how do I know you're going to stay?
And it's not just a how do I know you're going to stay. Part of it is why are you jumping around so much? What is going wrong?
Well, I'm gonna infer here because that's what we're gonna do here. When I look at, because I'm looking at the Raiders jobs that he had.
Yeah.
Let's be completely honest. In 2007 and 2008, his quarterbacks that he was working with, in 2007, he worked with Josh McCown, Dante Culpepper, and the J. Russell Hustle.
Yeah.
2008, he worked with the J. Russell Hustle and Andrew Walter for one game. Those Oakland teams, in 2007, they went 4-12. And then in the next year, they went 5-11. They were crappy Oakland teams. So what I'm looking at there, and this is me inferring because I don't know him and I don't know his life. And also, you got to think about it. I was, at the time, 17, 18 years old.
Yeah.
I'm looking at that going, this team is crap. There's an opening here with the Jets. Let me go and get on that train. He goes there. He works with Mark Sanchez for 1 year.
Rookie year.
Yeah, it's a 9-7 record, but they go to the AFC Championship game. That is a question I would ask in the interview process of, so, okay, what happened? Tell me what happened in 2009, because you went to the AFC Championship game as a quarterback coach, but then the next year you're in San Jose State as the quarterback coach.
Of all places.
Why do you go from, well, David Fales, bringing it back, ex-Bear quarterback. Why did you go from an AFC Championship game to college San Jose quarterback coach?
Yep.
And then, I mean, the other ones, it's like, really, you're going to go to offensive coordinator. Then it's like, okay, I'm going to go from college to the NFL.
Which makes sense.
Then the Oakland one, I'm going to go to offensive coordinator. And then it's like, I want to get out of Cleveland. So I understand everything. For me, the only question is 2009. Why did you go from a Jet team to
I don't think
San
necessarily
Jose?
just 2009. I think the amount of lateral moves in itself brings up a question to me.
Well, I mean,
is he just a hard person to work with? And that is an important part.
True.
And I don't know the guy. I don't. I'm not interviewing him. I don't know. Ryan Pace can make that decision, and Mitch Trubisky. And that's the part where I'm glad Chicago's at least going to let Mitch in the room to say, do you like this guy? Do you think you guys could get along?
I would.
They are. They've already said they're going to.
No, and I like that too because
they have to, because it's such an important part to a young quarterback's career. That could have been all it was for the Jets. He could have just not gotten along with Mark Sanchez.
What you think the franchise is?
Yeah.
And I mean, with Mitch Trubisky, you've put in, really to me, I'm going to go back and harp on it a little bit. With the trade you made for Mitch Trubisky, because there are some people, hello, I'm one of them, think that John Lynch wasn't going to take him at 2. You didn't have to worry about it. But
it's never about John Lynch. It's always about the other teams.
Because you made that move, to trade up, you can't fuck this up. You can't fuck this up and say, yeah, Mitch, we got you. We got you. You just go play with your Legos. You go kiss your titties. We'll be okay.
Yeah, well, he doesn't play with Legos.
Yeah, he doesn't play with Legos. He kisses titties. But, I mean, that's why I would bring him in, because you want this to be successful. Well, you want Mitch to be the GOAT that you think he can be.
And it's not a question. They're doing it. That's what's going to happen.
No, I know.
He's part of the interview process, as the quarterback should be when they're supposed to be a franchise guy. And it's not a question of like necessarily that they believe he's the franchise. He is Ryan Pace's franchise. If Trubisky doesn't work, Pace gets fired.
Yeah.
It's that simple. So you really can't mess it up.
He's messed up on enough draft picks to where if he messes up with Trubisky, it's the straw that broke the camel's back.
I don't agree with that. Injuries are more the draft problem.
That is a part of it, but like every comment section that we've been with Bears, it's how many swings and misses has the Bears had with drafts, especially with the Ryan Pace.
Ryan Pace is
recently it's better, but like the Kevin White draft.
That's injury though, Kevin White.
No, I know, but it's still. In my mind, I would say
if you want to say he whiffs in free agency, I will give you that.
Okay.
Draft, I disagree with.
But he'll stay by Mike Glennon. Remember, he'll stay with that signing.
Mike Glennon got us a real nice draft pick. If we just let him keep playing, we'd be number 1 overall. Well, number 2 because Cleveland lost every game.
Well, let me ask you this: just at the very end, kind of moving away from Defilippo for a hot second. We've talked about this numerous times, and I'm not going to ask you who would you hire?
Yeah.
The thing that I look at is, and I'm looking.
We got a video for that. You guys can go check it out.
I'm looking at the next article down the list of Bears seek interviews with Josh McDaniels and Pat Shurmur. What do these two say to you?
I like Pat Shurmur actually a lot.
Well, you brought him up, I think, in the replacement one.
I might have.
I hope he doesn't get hired because I want to keep him with us.
I like it a lot. I mean, a guy who's able to get that level of production out of Case Keenum, a guy who hasn't worked anywhere. Basically, what it comes down to is not even just Case Keenum. It's the fact that he said, I don't care who my quarterback is. I'm going to make them work. Now, I don't know. I mean, Chicago's built in a similar way to Minnesota, so I think that can work out.
Well, you know the landscape, too. You know the NFC North.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, that's kind of nice. It's a team that will run the ball a lot, and they're not going to expect a ton out of Mitch Trubisky. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, I don't know. We got this quarterback with an awesome arm. He's got some good accuracy. I want to see a little bit more out of him than a guy like Pat Shurmur. Like, can we go back and can I get, Shanahan? Or something, like, can we have that? That's the offense I would love to see Mitch Trubisky.
You're talking about Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah. I want to see that offense with Mitch. The guy's got a fucking cannon arm. But that's besides the point. That's the guy I'd prefer in there. I have zero interest in McDaniels. It just comes down to me of his debacle in Denver, and sure, he was able to get some success out of Kyle Orton for a little bit. Like, I'll give him credit for that. Tim Tebow at least looked slightly competent out there. I mean, he did beat the Steelers in the playoffs with a single throw. But But yeah, that was not a good time in his coaching career, and I'm sure he wants to forget it. I really don't believe that everything is magically fixed just because Bill Belichick decided to put his stamp on him.
You're talking about McDaniels in that sense?
Yeah.
The thing that I'm looking at, and I was just going to type up to see his actual record, is the thing with Shermer that I do like is you actually get a small snapshot. Well, it's 2 games. Okay, it's not that big of a snapshot. But basically, he was the interim head coach between Chip Kelly and Doug Peterson.
Yeah.
I mean, it was only 2 games, but he coached 1 game and he won it.
And the flip side of that is they didn't keep him. They went a different direction. To be fair. But I would be very interested in him.
That was also his second stint with the Eagles. He coached with the Eagles many moons before in the late 2000s.
Yep.
This was his second stint with them. I mean, he's the one I'm most interested in only because I watch that team. I know what he can do with that offense.
I agree with you. I mean, he's a guy who gets a lot out of his players. And injuries are an issue in Chicago. They will probably continue to be an issue in Chicago.
Especially with that grass until you get turf.
We're never getting turf.
No,
it's all
we're
grass.
not. It's going to be natural grass. And those potholes.
Yeah, right? And we need a guy who can get something out of it, I guess. You know, I just think he fits our offense, and I don't want to just go purely of, well, we can't get a guy who doesn't fit the offense, the players we have now. We can draft and get people in free agency, but he's somebody who can get more out of less. And Defilippo, I like. The guy is smart. The guy knows quarterbacks. I'm just worried about the rest of it when it comes to him. McDaniels, I just don't want anything to do with it.
Well, and the thing that I thought I saw on ESPN, I could be wrong, is that they were saying that McDaniels is and I'm looking at it right here, McDaniels is the favorite for the Giant coaching job.
I've heard
like
that
he's
too.
the one that the Giants really like. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Maybe more so with that because it's like, hey, you know what? Instead of you going to work with an inexperienced quarterback, come work with ours. He's a veteran. He's kind of like Tom Brady. Some would say even better than Tom Brady because he's undefeated in Super Bowls against Tom Brady. But any final thoughts before we move on to our NFL draft topic?
No, this is just a really fun time. I'm excited to see the way it goes.
Mark's like, I love looking for new coaches.
My thing is just for the Bears or for any team out there, don't rush it. Don't feel like you got to beat other people. Just make the right decision.
You know what I will say? I was in your shoes. What year? 2014. I was in your shoes before the 2014 season. And I'll be honest, I can't remember exactly because that was, I think that was the year before we created MVP. That we officially created MVP 2014. But the thing I remember for some reason being like, you know, I like that he's a defensive mind, but I really hope that Mike Zimmer can do some good things.
Yeah.
I really hope. So, I mean, take your time. Of course, when you guys go offense, go with someone that can match up with Mitch Trubisky and help that offense because the defense is there. I think you keep Vic Fangio, even though I think that
No, he's gone.
I think he's gone because someone will bring in the new staff anyway.
He's not leaving because he's not leaving because Chicago wants to get rid of him. Chicago wants him to stay.
He's leaving because he doesn't.
He's done.
It's either I'm the head coach or I'm leaving.
It was negative 12 degrees today. Vic Fangio wants nothing to do with that.
Wants to go back to California.
He's a West Coast guy. He wants to be in California right now.
But this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you guys think down below. Bear fans, let us know what you think about Defilippo. Or if you don't like Defilippo, let us know who you guys think the Bears should hire. Let us know down below in the comment section.